React.js mind map, part 6 of 10, map. Let's navigate to the map screen. The map screen is the main screen of the mind map app. To navigate to the map screen, you need to double-click on the mind map card on the home screen. So in the home.js file, we need to add the method that sets the route to the map. On the card element, we need to add the double-click handler. On double-click, we just call the method with item ID param. Let's go on. One part of the map screen is the details section. This section to view and to edit mind map item params: ID, name, comment. The details section is a React function component, details.js. The style is in the details module CSS file. The details section will be located in the right part of the map screen. Let's add the details component to the map screen. Next step. We need to create an input form to view and to edit params. The form is the native HTML element. For each mind map param, we add a field set with a label and a text input element. All the elements are native HTML elements. To bind param's value to the input element, we need to set the value property. Thus, for ID field, we need to set the value equals to the props.id. The ID params are not supposed to be changed, so set the input element disabled. Let's repeat the steps for other fields. The comment field could be more than one string. For this field, use the text array element instead of text element. We have the form, we have the fields, but we have no values. Why? We need to set props in the parent component, in the map component. We need to change the map component from a function to a class component. In the constructor, we get the mind map ID from the route params. Then get the mind map item data from the repository. Then set the state with mind map item data, ID, name, level, and comment. To transfer item params from the map component to the details component, we set the params with state values. Alright, we have the values, but we have got a warning. We need to define the onChange handler. Let's define it. In the onChange handler, we get the current value from the event param. Then we save the item to the data repository. And then we set the state. That's all. We defined the onChange handler, so there's no more warning. The same thing for the comment field. Let's define the onChange handler for the comment field. Now we can change the name and we can change the comment of the mind map item. The main section of the main screen. The most important part. The chart. The chart is a React function component. The component to display the mind map items. We need an action toolbar to add and to delete items. Let it be located in the right bottom corner of the screen. Let's display all the items at the table first. Table view is just another React function component. Table view renders a table with predefined columns and the list of rows with mind maps item data. table view needs styling, and a little more styling for the headers. The items table is looking good, but we need to add more items. So let's define the add item handler. In the add handler, we save a new item to the data repository. The level of the item is next to the level of the current item. The parent ID equals to the ID of the current item. The root ID is the same to the root ID of the current item. All the items of the same mind map has the same root ID. We can keep more than one mind map in the same repository. Different mind maps would have the different root ID. Awesome! We can add items. And we need to delete the items. To delete the item, we need to select it first. To set selected, we add an extra CSS class to the row element of the table by click. And the last step. To delete the selected item, we use the repository delete method. This method deletes the item with the ID and all the sub-items. After deleting, we set the first item in the list selected. If no items are left, we navigate to the home screen. Okay, now we can create any mind map, but our mind map looks like a table. We need to make it look like a map. Thank you for watching to the end. Subscribe to our channel and you will learn how to make a map look like a map.